everybody, and welcome to the second part of this year's A Lawn Gnome's Guide 2. And this year's is called Finding a Balance. Just in case you're new today, welcome, it's a pleasure to have you, and part 1 will be linked in the very end of this video. So, we've already gone into how to prepare yourself for trying to find that specific balance. And now we're going to go into the second part, which is called Make the Time. What do I mean by that? Well, one of the few things that I said in the first episode was to have two lists, one of your want-tos and one of your need-tos. So, we also have to go back to that calendar, and it's always good to go back to that calendar because it's so essential. So when you take a look at the calendar and you're starting to plan your week or your day or your month or whatever it is, because I see a lot of you guys, especially when it comes to video making on YouTube, you have months planned, and I'm very proud to see that because these are people that are doing exactly what I'm doing, so I know that I'm not alone. But when it comes to putting all of your events in your calendar, the first thing that you gotta do is you must put those need-tos down first. If you have important family obligations, job obligations, if you have important errands that need to be done like grocery shopping, you do need to eat, make sure that you put all of those things into your calendar first. And as I also said, make sure that they're perfectly paced. Make sure that you have enough time to accomplish everything that you want to. I will tell you the God's honest truth, guys. When I get up in the morning, when I go to work, when I come home, I always write down all the things that I have to do. And I always try to make sure that there is enough time, especially when it comes to doing things on the job. If I have a big project, I know that there are certain things that must be done. Get to work on time or get there early if you have to make sure that there's plenty of time for you to actually take care of all of that stuff. And especially if you get earlier to work and nobody else is there, you'd be amazed at how much you can do when there's nobody there to bother you. But I also want to make sure that there's a good lunch break. If there's more work to do that I think I won't be able to get done at the end of the day, I'll sacrifice some time for lunch. I also like to go for walks during work. But if it's really, really hot out, or it's really, really cold out, I'm not going to go for those walks. I might just decide to take the stairs and not take the elevator to and from my office, so I can get a little bit of exercise in, as well as taking my walk to and from my means of transportation to get to work. And, of course, also make sure that there is enough time to get home. What I'm trying to say is, when you pace all of your stuff when it comes to your need-tos, search your pockets. What do I mean by search your pockets? Well, you're going to take a look at your schedule, and you're going to take a look at all those things you have to do. But then you're going to take a deeper look and look at those gaps of time. What can I do with those gaps of time? Especially when it comes to the weekends. My wife and I have a little bit of a routine at this point in time. We get home early on Fridays, thank goodness, and if we have time to go see a movie in theaters, we'll see that in the early afternoon and catch dinner, and then we'll go grocery shopping. But then there's also Saturday and Sunday, and Saturday and Sunday can be anything. We could decide that we need to go and take a trip to visit my siblings and see how everybody's doing. We may have a couple of shopping errands that we want to do outside of grocery shopping that just have to be done. Or we feel like we haven't seen a friend in a while and we want to make some time for a friend, but we also need to make sure that we come back and we take care of everything else. If there's cleaning of the apartment, we clean the apartment. And then there is my wife's workload that she usually takes care of while she's working. So I have a couple of extra pockets. And that's when I say, you know what? I'm going to make some YouTube videos over here. I'm going to go hang out with a friend over here because I'm able to. I'm going to take this time to balance my checkbook and maybe draw a picture. There's so many things that you can do with those pockets of time as long as you find them and be just as perfectly paced as you are with your important things that you have to take care of. And that leads to the second point, which is use that time wisely. We'll go into YouTube, for example. So, I am not a late sleeper anymore. I'm actually such an old fart, it's not even funny. If you want to know how old I am, there's a whole bunch of videos that will explain it. But I like to get up early in the morning. Sometimes I wake up on a Saturday or a Sunday at 6 a.m. I'm not kidding. And when I get up, unless I really feel that I need to sleep, I am not going to sleep. I'm going to get up, and if it's nice outside, I'm going to go for a nice 2-mile walk for about 45 minutes to an hour. Because why not? It's important to be healthy. And then I'll come home and I'll have myself some breakfast. And then, if I really don't have any important have-tos, then I'm just going to turn my camera on while my wife is still sleeping, and I'm going to record somewhere between 5 to 10 videos, depending on how many I have. And then there's also the concept of the live streams, because the live streams are also lots of fun, and I love doing them, but I always make sure that it is a week that I can actually make the time for them. And when I do want to have that time, I'll see, is there a possibility that I could do another live stream project? Because I do lots of various live streams. You know, I do my Sunday sit-downs, I do my verses, I have my DCAU live show with my friend Brian. I always try to see if there's a possibility that I could fit more than one, especially if I know that these are things that I want to add to my channel and I actually have the time to do it. The next one is no judgment. And this is definitely something that needs to be elaborated on in a much more deeper sense. And that is, you should never be afraid when it comes to your friends and your family in regard to them knowing that you have a YouTube channel. If you just give them the opportunity to watch one of your shows, they'll understand why you do them. Believe me, was I nervous as a 20-something-year-old realizing that I could make a YouTube channel and then I had to go and tell my parents and my siblings that I made it? Yeah, I was a little bit nervous, especially considering the fact that I was still single and I really wasn't in the best places career-wise, and my family was probably thinking, oh, why is he wasting his time with this? But they saw one video and they understood. And they also understood how effortless it was to actually do it, especially if you really appreciate recording videos, planning ahead, and also making sure that you use your editing software to the best of your ability. So, never be ashamed of that. And I feel that if people understand that this is something that you truly care about, they will let you make that time. That's what I'm trying to get at. Your friends, your family, your significant other, they will respect you if you show them why you're a YouTuber and why it makes you happy. Anything that makes you happy is something that people should understand, unless it is something that is really off color and possibly life-threatening. And I don't think that making YouTube videos is life-threatening. And the final thing that I want to discuss with you guys, because we're talking about really finding a balance with a whole bunch of your everyday, important, and casual activities. Sleep. Sleep is important. All of you who call yourselves night owls, I'm just going to say this. I tried that lifestyle. It's awful. Because I feel that it is much more important to be awake during the day than it is to be awake at night. It's lively in the morning. There's so much more stimulants within the space that you're living. I hope that that makes sense, because that's how I feel. There was a time in my life when I was actually up till sunrise, but that was also because of the fact that on Saturdays I was taking 20-hour power naps, as my brother was, and that's no joke. I slept a lot in my high school and college years. But these days, if I'm tired, I'm going to go to sleep. And that's another important thing when it comes to your schedule. If you know that there's something that has to get done, remember that thing I said in the first episode, which was in regards to putting something off. Never sacrifice sleep or anything that is important to your health. Never sacrifice it. Put everything else off. If you are tired, you sleep. If you are sick, you sleep. Do not work. Do not engage with other people. Take medicine. Have a warm shower. Have a cup of tea. Sleep. Especially earlier. The minute you start feeling tired and you feel your eyelids getting heavy, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you go to sleep. And I feel that if you do that, you'll wake up a lot more excited to tackle your day and more excited to make your YouTube videos, enjoy your time with family and friends, and really do a much better job at work. It's also important to make sure that you get up to have a healthy breakfast. Breakfast is also very important. Those are the things that you must do. Because a wise man once said, early to bed and early to rise makes a man, and in this case, person, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Thank you very much for watching today, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the third episode, because I think this is going to be a very important one. We're going to elaborate a little bit more on something that we discussed in this video. What's it going to be? We'll find out when I see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.